Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Oath Podcast, where we empower our military and veterans communities through education and advocacy. I'm your host, Justin Rich, and I'm very blessed and excited to be here on this beautiful, rainy Washington State day. Before we get into our guest today, I want to just take care of a couple of show maintenance things. Just wanted to give you all a heads up. Our website is officially complete, and I really want to just give a shout out to Corey Michael. He's done a phenomenal job. Wonderful guy. Just check out our website, www.oathpodcast.com. Again, that's www.oathpodcast.com. Going forward, we're also going to be seeing a new co-host with me. His name is Jesse. He was on my first show. He owns and operates Urban Float here in University Place. He is a retired Navy veteran. He retired as a lieutenant commander, I believe it was. And he's got a lot of experience in dealing with veterans with post-traumatic stress. He is just an all-around great guy. We look forward to having him on the show and having his input, and we look forward to just learning and gaining as much knowledge and experience from him as possible. So today I have a very special guest with me, and this is a very unique topic. It's a topic that doesn't get a lot of attention. It doesn't get a lot of well-deserved attention, I should say. I have with me a very good friend of mine, Manuel. And Manuel is actually a veteran of the United States Marine Corps. We still like him anyway. And and he has with him a gentleman who served in the Army. And Manuel has actually been fighting the deportation of veterans in this country for a number of years. Manuel was not drafted, but volunteered to serve in the Army and served his time, honorably discharged, and now he's at risk of being deported. Him and several other veterans, to include his brother, are actually undergoing these unjust proceedings. And before we really jump into it, I would just like to remind everyone that while we will be discussing political issues, we are nonpartisan here. We will talk about what's good and what's bad, but we're not here to bash. We're only here to encourage our legislators, and we're only here to produce solutions going forward, and we're here to encourage the men and women of our armed forces and our veterans communities. And we're here to just educate them and let them know some of the dangers that are out there. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Manuel. And Manuel, if you would, please just go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, your service, and then you could introduce the young man sitting next to you.
Okay, to get it off straight, the right thing, I'm a Marine. I'm not an Army. I enlisted in 1971 into the Marine Corps. And in the late year of 71 and 72, I was in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it's been a long struggle coming out of Vietnam and then coming back to the States. And I cannot believe what they did to me. They made me an MP for my last year of Marine Corps. And I just got out of service. In 75, I got out of the Marine Corps, and then I had to 77, I was reserved. But through all those years, coming back from Vietnam, we were treated, which you probably know, Vietnam, we would call baby killers from the people of the United States. And they were throwing balloons full of piss at us and bags of shit, it was an ugly scene for us to go through, and even to this day, it hasn't gone away. I still go through it, but it took years to go through all this. What we had to do in Vietnam. I'm an 0311 grunt, was in the jungle, and my last coming back from Vietnam, we did rescue missions through Duluth LPD 6, and that was in 72. 71, the late part of 71 and 72, but I've been going through a lot of, like they call it PTSD. I didn't get no help from the VA. When I got out in '75, there was nobody to help us. We were pushed away. We were Vietnam veterans, and in 2009, I finally I went and asked for help because to the VA, and it's kind of odd that I applied for help in 2008. In 2009, I received a removal notice to be deported from this country.
Mm.
And what's so bad about it is that January 29th, which I'll never forget, I went to court that day. I had to go to Denver to court, immigration court, and to appear to get my papers to be removed from this country. And that evening, I got home, and my mom passed away at the Memorial Hospital right there in Colorado Springs.
Mm.
So I had a double whammy. You know, I'm being deported, and my mother passed away, and I felt embarrassed, shamed, and don't know what to do. Who are you going to ask that I'm getting deported from this country after I fought in Vietnam and I'm a Marine? My mind is just twirling around. I couldn't tell nobody, not even my family. I didn't know who to ask for help and everything. And so that was January the 2009, and then the late part of February, my oldest brother, he was in Vietnam too. He was in the Army in 1968, 101st Army, and he came over my house, and his face looked like the way I felt, like hell, like something's really bad. And mind you, I didn't tell nobody about my removal notice. And my brother came up and I said, "Well, what's wrong with you, bro? You know, you look like hell." And he goes, "Yeah, take a look at the paperwork." A paper I got from, and he put it on the table, and I looked at it. I said, "Wait a second, bro. I'll be right back." I went into my bedroom and I put mine right against his. And that day, our lives changed. I mean, we looked at each other and we couldn't figure out what the hell, what did we do so bad that to be deported from this country after what we've gone through, you know? And finally, going to get some help from the VA, and then we get a removal notice. That kind of that's a trigger to me.
Mm.
That like, we're asking help, and then the United States government puts a red flag. Go, oh, he was born in Mexico. We got to deport him.
So up until this point, there was no indication that you weren't regarded as a citizen, or you had never really had. Have you at that point had you had experienced any trouble with the law, or is there any reason for them to come after you?
Well, you know, through all my time when I joined the Marine Corps, hey, that time they were drafting left and right, and there were draft dodgers and everything, and it, I would be seeing TV, and it would say the communists are going to take over Vietnam. They're going to attack the United States. They would brainwash us to get involved with this situation. So I said, hell with this. I'm not going to allow this. I'm going to go in there and fight. My brother did. He's over there in '68. So I said, you know, I'm going in. '71, I joined in, but a friend of mine told me, you're going to Vietnam, so go with the best. You will make it home as in being a Marine. So that's what I did. I
Mhm.
went in to protect America, and I enlisted. I didn't run away. I didn't be a draft dodger like that. I said, I'm going to go do my duty to protect this country. And when I enlisted, it was no problem. They said, Mr. Valenzuela, welcome. You're United States Marine Corps. How about my citizen? You don't have to worry about nothing. You're United States property. Right now, you're a United States Marine Corps. And always, once a Marine, always a Marine for the rest of your life. And I said, yes. All right. So that right there, I trained and just went on 100% to what I had to do. I had no worries about what I had to do. They told me I'm an American citizen, and I'm a United States Marine. So I never came to my mind until I came out of the Marine Corps and went through, which I'm not saying that I got PTSD now. I mean, I had it since I got out of the Marine Corps,
Mhm.
and at that time I didn't know. I was crazy. I had rage. the things I had to do for this country, I cannot even talk about it. I myself feel ashamed what I had to do, but I did it, and to make sure that this country is safe and protected. And that's called PTSD, and I didn't know.
Mm.
And I was scared to even mention stuff like this. Now the VA season have been helping me out lately, but it's been centuries. We were pushed away. So now getting that removal notice has brought this PTSD back very surreal, to why did we go do this for? You know, put our lives on the line to fight for this country that doesn't even, they say they honor us, we honor our veterans. Do they really? Only as the ones that they want to honor? Hey, we all bleed red and we all give an oath. We're in the jungle, we bring each other home dead or alive, no matter what. And this is wrong. We bring each other back to the United States, and this is our home. This is the place where we fought for, and we have the right to live here. And if any politicians got, which I believe this has been going on since 1996, Bill Clinton signed the Illegal Immigration Act. This is the one that separated everybody, but it's America,
Mm.
and it's got to be stopped. We have to, which I have taken to a point that I've been marched all through the United States. I met this guy in 2009, 10, and he was deported, and he marched with me. He came back to the United States with my brother, and he took the risk, and he marched with us. And he got caught, and he got deported again, beat up, and taken. Man, they tore him up. But this guy right here, he's 82nd Airborne. I got a lot of respect for him.
Mhm.
He's short, I have to sit down so we can see. No, but either way, uh, all my brothers, they're military. We have a bond, and we're
Mhm.
a band of brothers. And no matter what happens, where we go, what we fight, we'll always bring each other home, no matter what. And this got to be for reals. The United States of America going to have to honor us, because if they do not have the decency to realize that oath that we're given, it's very powerful. And
Absolutely.
this situation of deportation veterans is creating a big or around the United States that no other country does that to their troops. And America, the one that's the big on saying that we honor our veterans, we do all these things for veterans, but yet they're deporting us, and
Right.
that's wrong.
And we're really, when you look at it as a whole, we're contributing to some of our own national security risk as a whole. I mean, let's think about this for a moment. I mean, deporting a highly trained, gentleman back to Mexico or Venezuela or wherever, you know, think of all the training that this individual has received. Think of the in-depth knowledge that they have of a variety of tactics that we use, and think of what the enemy is thinking of when they see this veteran that has just been tossed to the curb. It's a danger for that veteran. It's a danger for us here. And the most important thing about it is, however, is it shouldn't have happened to begin with. And you said it at the beginning of this. You were told flat out. It was a pitch. It was, once a Marine, always a Marine. You're the property of Uncle Sam, and you are an American citizen. You are an American. And I've spoken to you numerous times over the past few years. And what people need to understand as well is, first of all, your mother is a natural born American citizen. And your brother sacrificed a lot as well. He received, what award did he receive?
He got the Bronze Star in Vietnam.
Got a Bronze Star, and the man is facing deportation action. And
Can you
that's how we.
imagine how he feels? My older brother,
Hmm.
after what he'd gone through, he wrote a book about it, and but he did it in Spanish. But either way, it's not just that. My family, the Valenzuela family, is is big on what we have done. There's 12 of us in our family,
Hmm.
8 boys and 4 girls. My oldest brother Valente was in the Vietnam '68 Army, 101st. I got a brother 1 year older than me. He was in the Navy. I'm a Marine, and then I have a 1 year younger brother was in the Air Force. Us four brothers were born in Mexico. And I have another brother that was born in the United States, was in the Army too. You put all this together, and you put all this together, we got over 40 years of service for this country. To be treated this way from my oldest brother, to have a removal notice with a Bronze Star, my God, that's I can't accept that. And
Right.
then we served this country, and I got pictures right here. This my friend right here. He's got a lot of things, and I will give him time to show what he's gone through too.
Hmm.
And today we had a well, we're gonna bring that up too. We just went to court. I flew in from Fort Washington to help this deported Air Force veteran that's been deported for 20 years to come back to his family. And he was deported in 1999. 1996, he had some, what do you call it, like he was involved in something, but he was not involved. It was something real. What was it?
It was
Assault and battery.
assault.
Mm.
Yeah, but on that case, he wasn't involved. He didn't do that. It was another guy that took off running. Even the people that got beat up, they said that guy didn't do nothing. But
Very incriminated.
he got incriminated. The police just took him in and charged him with that case. And then the lawyer made him sign a paper saying, "Yeah, this is nothing. Don't worry about it." But really, that's what the 1996 act of Bill Clinton was in effect. That anybody that is illegal creates a crime are deportable,
Right.
and that happened to him. And now, 20 years later, they finding out we got the records that he was not involved. The people still say it's on record on the case he had nothing to do with this assault, and he got deported just
Mm.
for him signing a private, what was it, a public defender. Told him, just don't worry about that. That has been happening to us veterans.
Mm.
You know, I myself, you sign a form and, with the police department say, and the public defenders, that act has been tearing us apart and separating the military veterans. And to me, that act has to be torn away.
Right. Right.
I
And you
mean,
know what? This is not just happening to a few individuals. We're actually seeing more and more immigrants and individuals come in to serve this country, willing to lay down their life. We've seen it with, there was a gentleman who was deported. Well, he was actually getting ready to be deported, and he was an Iraqi national. And rather than go back, he took his own life. So we're seeing an increase in this. But the way the media plays this off, let's talk about the media real quick. The way the media plays this off, they play it off as, well, this is a few individuals, they've committed crimes, and it's getting better. What are your thoughts on that? How do you feel the media is portraying this?
well, believe it or not, since 2009, we've been going all over the country, and I had media come to my house, and you know what? It only airs one time, and then they cut it. And
Mm.
there's times that I had media ask media to be there, they will not show up. But the media is controlled by individuals, by the system here. Controls. There's powers in here, like Homeland Security, telling the media you cannot do this. Matter of fact, I got a good example. And 2012 came out on CNN national media. That was 2012, wasn't it, or 10? When we marched, that was 10.
2010.
We marched in right there in
The borderline.
at the borderline and right here in Tijuana. And by the time we got home, CNN national media called us up right there in Colorado Springs to go in the focus on the family. The big old cameras. Oh my God, they're bigger, like 10 feet big gold cameras.
Mhm.
And they said we have this CNN national media. I wrote a speech which I did say it to, they interviewed us, but then this speech was for President Obama to help us out. And on this speech, I asked him, if this governor that pardoned this veteran up there, I forgot who was up to New York, he killed his wife because of PTSD problems. We come back from wars, and he had a lot of problems. He killed his wife, and he was, uh, you know, they stopped the deportation on him because of PTSD. He was really off the rocker. Then the 200 prisoners, remember that the governor um, let him go. I mean, gave him pardoned them. And I just asked the president of the United States to step up to the plate and pardon the deported veterans and bring them on back and stop this. I said that speech, and when we walked out, and I said, "All right, I got it done." But when we were talking, I did ask the lady from CNN, "Oh, we're going to stop this." And I said, "Please let me say this speech. This is very important for President." It's in my Facebook. And when I said that speech, we walked to the car. And right before I opened the door, I got a call from El Paso, Texas. A friend, Rosemary from El Paso, Texas, and Clavo. They called me, "Hey, man, you guys are singing right now live." I said, "Wow, good." And they said, "Hey, what happened to that speech you were supposed to say?" Homeland Security got in there and just said, "Do not air that."
Mm, mm,
That's what I'm calling about media attention. This media, it's not, it's what they want the people to hear. And if everybody knows in the United States that they're deporting veterans, it would be an uprising. It would be an uprising, a big uprising. It would
mm,
overthrow the government. This is wrong. They've gone too far now. And even then, I drive my RV. I have an RV that I wrapped, stopped the deportation of veterans. I drove all this last year throughout the whole country, and everywhere I went, everybody come up to me and say, "Is this for reals?" And I go, "Yes."
mm-hmm.
And they go, "I can't believe this.
Yeah.
This is wrong."
Before you actually joined us, I was talking with Sadie, who's our technical person, and I was explaining to her what we're going to talk about today. And the look of absolute horror on her face really just says it all. And I'm going to tell you, you're absolutely right. A lot of media doesn't want to cover this, and because it's not a popular thing. It's not something that is it's a human interest piece without really being human interest. And so what I would encourage my viewers to do is, this show is dedicated to educating my military and veterans communities. It's also dedicated to empowering our local communities to stand together with our military and veterans communities and empower them. So what I'm going to encourage people to do is jump on Facebook, spread the word that this is happening. We have the ability to make this go viral. And I want to encourage my listeners and my viewers to really do that, because here's the deal. They're good enough to sit in the trenches with us. They're good enough to put us on their back and firemen's carry our butts out. They're good enough to be right here home with us in the USA. That is the big thing. I'd love to hear from your friend there and get to know him a little bit. If you wouldn't mind, could you please reintroduce yourself and give us a little bit of your background and what's your take on all this?
Sure. My name is Fabian Rebolito. I'm in the 82nd Airborne. Uh, Now repatriated. Came back to the States on September 19, 2018, which was a fight for me to return. Thanks to all the organizations that have been fighting against the deportation of U.S. veterans, and it took a little while. Thanks to my parents, thanks to all the supporters. Unfortunately, our own brothers in arms, some of them, or let's say 60% of them, they don't like us, or they don't want to recognize us as brothers in arms, just due by the fact that we committed a crime and we got removed.
Mhm.
Uh, but when I was in the battlefield and I was next to them, my job was saving my body's life and the rest of the life, the lives of my people right there.
Mhm.
I mean, I was trained to defend the Constitution. I was trained to kill. I was trained to bring my men back home alive dead or alive, he's gonna come back with me.
Right.
That's what we're saying. Um, and speaking of the media has been manipulated, and it has been manipulated by the government. Unfortunately, they only tell us what we want to hear about
Mhm.
all this matter. Today we have a case, okay, another deported veteran, and we post that on Facebook, and we just received a few likes, few comments. Why? Because some of them they don't care,
Mhm.
and if they do, they just ignore what is going on around the country. Let's say about now 2% of the whole country knows about the deportation of U.S. veterans. Ever since 1996, like Manuel says, retroactive laws of President Clinton, you know. And I thought as well I was a citizen of the United States once I enlisted. Why? Because my recruiter told me once you enlisted, once you sign your first enlistment, you're gonna become to be a U.S. citizen automatically. And to me, it was a big joy. I was like, yes, I'll be the first person to be a citizen of my family. Unfortunately, I wasn't. Even though I got deployed Kosovo 1999, and I met uh, William Cohen, Secretary of Defense.
Mhm.
He actually, gave me a hug and called me a brave American soldier. What is that? I'm an American,
Mhm.
regardless. And after that, like he said, we got out of PTSD and stuff like that. We committed a crime, a minor infraction, and there you are. Oh, you're not a citizen. Guess what? I'm sorry, we're gonna kick your butt out of here, and boom,
Mm.
we took it out of the country, removed, and there we go.
Yeah.
You ended up being homeless. You ended up, uh, with monitoring PTSD. You know, no medication, no medical treatment, no psychologist, nothing,
Mhm.
and you're just thrown away. Like disposable plate. They use
Yeah.
you. That's it. You're dirty. Get out of here. I don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
It's not. That's not right.
And even within the veterans community, we found that the veterans community, to a certain degree, has kind of turned their backs, which is really sad to say. You would think that organizations like the VFW, the American Legion, DAV, I mean, you would think that these guys would come to the aid of their fellow vets. And I'm not bashing them in any means, but you know, I can't speak for everybody else. But when I joined, I took my oath seriously. I'm doing this show because I care about my brothers and sisters. I don't care where they come from or how they join. We're Americans, and I'm going
I
to
don't know
ask
if
you.
you can see this. I mean, I have picture on my cell phone. I don't think you can
I
see it.
I can't see it, but if you want to email it to me, what I can do is I can put it up on our website.
Here it
There we
goes.
go. There we go. See that? That's me with William Cohen, Secretary of Defense.
Hmm. Email that to me, please.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's the guy who called me an American soldier. So
Hmm.
you know, I met with several other high powers from the White House, and even that, there's nothing that can control uh, the deportation.
Right. I
I
want to.
I myself coming back to something I just came to my mind on this. Since 2009, I've been fighting this. I had the opportunity to meet President Obama 3 times and Vice President Joe Biden. My brother and I, we asked him for help, Vietnam veterans, to step up to the plate to see if they could help us. You know what they did? They turned their backs and walked away and never, ever helped
Hmm.
us. And that right there alone is, I look at it like he is, he was a puppet. There's a system there. There's something around the White House, around the political ring that is happening that they see about controlling the people, what they
Hmm.
want us to see, what to hear, and what to look for, and that's what they marked us as criminals. We're not criminals.
Right.
You know, we're human beings that we went and did criminal things for this government, for this America. We did things over there in Vietnam that I can, like I said, I myself have nightmares all the time. Even then, till the day I die, I take
Mhm.
it with me. But does not make us criminals.
Right.
We
You
can
know,
deal with it, and we're
and
doing okay.
above all, we're all human beings. We make mistakes in our lives. We hopefully learn and correct those mistakes. But you mentioned earlier, that some minor infractions. And what's interesting is as veterans communities, we're seeing more things like veteran treatment courts, drug and alcohol courts, mental health courts. We're seeing these programs that are really wonderful pop up. But then when it comes to immigrants who join the military and get in trouble, we don't give them the same opportunity. It's just like, bye. So
Correct.
again, I would encourage my listeners and my viewers to really think of it, especially my fellow combat vets. We have experienced some things that we can't even begin to describe to the general population, but we ask for special treatment when it comes to dealing with post-traumatic stress and dealing with some things as a result of what we've seen in war. We should not be turning our backs on these men and women who have served. We should be with them, and we should give them the opportunity to have the same treatment for rehabilitation or whatever as we have as, naturally born citizens. They're good enough to serve in the trenches with us. They're good enough to stay here. And what's really insulting is a lot of these guys will actually receive letters while they're deported saying that they can be buried here in the United States. That's an insult. That is not okay. They get letters from the VA saying you qualify for VA benefits, but how are they going to get them?
They have to go to the VA to get checked. They,
Exactly. But you
and
can't come in.
they can't come in.
I'm
The
going
only
to ask
thing that,
you I'm going to ask you a very important question. I want both of you to answer this very honestly. You've both been through a lot, and there's a lot of veterans that are in your shoes. My question to you is, do you love this country any less over this situation?
I love my
I love my
country.
country.
I love my country.
Look,
That's what I'm fighting for.
look, I'm willing to give up my own country to fight for this country.
Mm-hmm.
That means a lot. Not
Yeah.
only for me, but for the people around, for the people I serve, for the country I serve. Okay, I fought for this country. I deserve to live in this country. Why? Because I'm an American.
You
Right.
were
As soon
willing
as
to
I
die.
enlisted, that I signed that enlistment, I became to be an American, and
Mm.
I have to be, and I need to be treated as an American,
You
not
deserve
as
it. You've earned it.
not as a foreign people.
Mm.
My
Yep.
oath is a lot stronger than oath for those that become to be a citizen.
It's like this a friend of mine, like we always say, I'm good enough to fight for this country. I'm good enough to die for this country. I'm damn hell good enough to live in this country.
Right.
And that we gotta stand with, all of us.
Correct.
Because every person that I was in the jungle, we said to each other, we bring each other back no matter what. And we did. We do. And now I come back, things have changed throughout the years. This system has been going and brainwashing the people to look at the color of our skin. This is wrong. We all bleed red.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody bleeds yellow, green, or anything. It's all red. So we all got to stand together, and we're going to be more stronger than this country can ever do because this got to stop. Period.
Absolutely.
And I cannot accept it anymore. I've been to five funerals, and with the families crying, and the guy has been deported, and they died in over there in Mexico, and then brought back and buried with military honors, and then they fold the flag and tell the mother or father, "Thank you for his service." I said, "Shit," and he's deported. I mean, that's wrong.
Yes, it is.
He's good enough to come back on a coffin. Damn, that is wrong. It should
Right.
be he should be good enough to live in this country because he served this country.
Absolutely. If you two had the opportunity to deliver a message to any immigrant, green card holder that is considering joining the military, or to anyone that's currently in the military, what advice would you give these immigrants that are serving currently or considering joining the military? What advice would you guys give to those?
Well, as it is, after 9/11, there is now it's a law by the Department of Defense that anyone that joins the armed forces will give an automatic citizenship. Once you give the oath in front of the United Flags, you're gonna give the oath to the nation as well, and that's when you actually get your citizenship. At this point, before it used to be, you just a lie. Yeah, you're gonna be a citizen, not letting us know that it's a process to follow during our military service. That was before 9/11. After 9/11, you know, if you're a LPR, which is a resident card holder. I mean, you join the military, you become to be a citizen, and that's one of the things that I like after 9/11. Before that, we went through a lot of hell.
Right. So if that's the case, why do we still see veterans being deported today? Or is that,
Because
are they prior 9/11?
exactly, all once again we're going back to the retroactive law of 1996.
Bill Clinton law.
Signed that. Anyone who committed a crime, they're allowed to review their past, their criminal record, and whatever record you have in the past, even though if it's like drinking and driving, they'll bring that up. Okay, if you're not a citizen at this point, you're in trouble. That's what it is.
That's really a shame, and honestly, it's something that deserves a lot of attention. There's a lot of honorable men and women who have sacrificed a whole lot to become citizens. Serving in this military, it's not an easy task, regardless of what branch. I mean, it is not an easy task to be in the military. It is not. It should not just be shirked off as, well, they took the easy route, because that's not the case. And these gentlemen are proving that it is not an easy way out. This is not. It's just unacceptable. I'm at a loss of words, honestly. It's an embarrassment that we really have to talk about this. And I think as a country, we should be embarrassed about this.
Well, the United States, all the other countries are looking at what's happening here. I'll guarantee you they're just laughing at us, because this is ridiculous. What's happening? This is wrong. Even then, what really gets me, I even fought for this lady. Her daughter got killed in what was it? Iraq. She volunteered because the guy that was supposed to drive the Humvee, she was a medic. She volunteered to drive that Humvee, and there was a wounded soldier, and she got him on the Humvee, and she was driving him back, and they got ambushed, and she got killed. Well, her dad, when they brought him back, her dad started drinking, got DUIs, and he was put on deportation. A Gold Star family. This country is, I've seen so many things that have been happening. The Gold Star family, but we fought it, and the guy, they let him go back home. But man, he was in detention, and there was so many of me. And another one that he was in Korea and got 3 kids. They got cerebral palsy. They got sick. They're sick because he worked in the chemical plants in Korea, and he's real sick. And they're trying to deport his wife. This government, and they even deported a Marine wife a couple of years ago. I think it was a year ago, and he's active right now in military. How can this government do that?
Right.
To a human being that he's sacrificing his life for this country. His wife should be there with his kids. He should have he should be 100% focused on what he's got to do to protect this country. Instead, he's in cloud that his wife deported. That's wrong. This country is going the wrong way, and this political ring has to be answered by the people of the United States. The media should be all the people from each city, all the veterans should step up to the media and say, we want this brought up. Now, we should not allow this to happen to our band of brothers be deported from this country and their families.
Right. And they're still going after family members. I mean, we just seen a couple of weeks ago where this service member's mother was deported. And there's current legislation. I don't know if it's pending or if I know it's been officially proposed, there's legislation saying now if you're serving, you cannot initiate deportation proceedings against one's family. And it's a shame that it has come to that. I mean, if somebody showed up at my door, my wife is Korean. If somebody showed up at my doorstep and tried to take my wife away, then they better get ready for a beat down.
You better believe that
Put me in a
you can
box.
call us and we can really help you out.
Right. So,
Give me a call.
yeah, right.
We'll do this.
But the point is it's an embarrassment. We have to discuss this, and we need to be encouraging our veterans communities. Above all, we need to really encourage our, veterans organizations to get more involved in this, get proactive, step up, go on the marches. Veterans for Peace has been advocating for this for a number of years. Veterans for Peace participates in marches throughout the country. And honestly, there are so many ways to get involved. And what people are unaware of is they're setting up nonprofits as well. There's this Deported Veteran Support House out of Tijuana, Mexico, ran by Hector Vararez, and there's organizations like that exist that shouldn't exist. We really need to set our foot down on this.
Yes, I belong to the Veterans for Peace. I've marched with them all over too, Nogales and all that too. And I know them. They're good friends and good people, and they're Vietnam veterans, most of them. I fit right in there with them.
Yeah, you and I know several of the same people actually, and that's I tell you, it's just I'm really sad over this whole situation, and I can't speak for everybody else, but I can tell you this brother right here hasn't forgotten you guys. This brother right here has been passionate. I've been working with Manuel for a few years, getting meetings set up with congressmen and working with various agencies, and it's a hard thing to do, especially sometimes it seems like it's a one-man show. But we went through that in the military. In the military, there were times when we just felt like, oh my gosh, this is just, why are we doing this? What's the point? We're not going to stop. This is our mission. This is what we're doing. And we're not going to leave you guys behind. And I know that there's a bunch of people that feel the same way as me. We just need to help them get this to them, and so they can distribute it. Let's make this go viral. Tell our Congress people, this isn't Democrat versus Republican. This is America. This is take care of our veterans. Let's step up. Let's do the right thing. It doesn't matter where they're from. It matters that they were willing to serve and lay down their life. So let's step up and let's make this go viral, folks.
Oh, airborne. Oh, yeah. United States, go here, man.
That's right. Well, guys, I need to close out the show, but if there's anything else, I'd like to give you guys the next 5 minutes to kind of go over, say whatever it is that you need to say, and let's get this out there and let's make sure it goes viral.
All right. Okay. And for right now, we need people to get up and help out on Daniel. What's his name?
Daniel Yarzabal. He's an Air Force guy. We're fighting for his case, dropped down to misdemeanor. Hopefully, we're gonna get it. We have the next court date on March 4th, on which our judge is, he's a Marine, so he's willing to help out. Either the prosecutor is trying to delegate otherwise, but we're gonna get this case, and he's gonna come back.
And people are welcome to be there. It's going to be March 4th right here in Pomona Supreme Court. And I'm going to be coming from Fort Washington to testify on behalf of veterans that are being deported. And the situation that has to be answered is we got PTSD, and the way to treat us is to treat us the right way, not to throw us away as criminals. That's wrong. The United States is doing. So we need everybody back they can make it be out there, but even so, get on Facebook, Jesus Manuel Valenzuela Facebook, and what is the other one? Fabian. Facebook, we're putting all this stuff that we're doing, every step that we step out here. Right now, we did, I would like a copy of it, and I can post it around too. And okay.
Absolutely. And just so you're aware, so it takes us about 48 to 72 business hours to get everything edited and whatnot with this type of call that we're doing. We will have it up on our website as well. Anything that you want to put up on our website, any information, if you want to send me how to contact this gentleman that you need support for, listen, even if you can't go down and physically be at this trial or this hearing, look, you can send letters. You can write in. You can make phone calls. Listen, blow those phones up. Make those people, make those politicians regret ever messing with the veterans community, ever. Okay. And better yet, you take people sometimes that are the vulnerable, that want to do the right thing, that want to be here legally, that want to serve and not just be a burden to society. And that really makes me angry too, guys, is people look at you guys and they say, well, they're just a burden to society. No, these guys stepped up. They went to Vietnam, they went to Iraq, they went to Afghanistan. This is not a burden to society. If anything, we've been a burden to them, and we need to fix it.
There you go. And we can do it together.
Absolutely.
And I noticed now lately that we've been going, or my movie documentary about my brother and I, American Exile, will be out in a couple months, I was told, from PBS. And
Outstanding.
hopefully that would help affect the elections too of coming up, because we really do need 2020 is a true vision. You know that. If you got 2020, you can really see. I want the next commander-in-chief of the military, the true vision of a commander-in-chief of the military, to really stand up and say, I want all my troops back, and I want this to stop, and period. Put an executive order, nobody throws away my troops. If they do wrong, they go and to the judicial system, what they help protect. And out there fighting in this wars, all this that we have is because of us. And I'm proud to be one of them that went and served, and I'm still serving now, because I still got other brothers deported, and they need to be home.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us. I'm going to close out the show, and we're just going to meet you guys, and I'm going to do a closeout, and then we'll follow up with you guys when everything goes up on the website. Thanks for being here, and if there's anything I can do, feel free to reach out to me anytime.
All right. Thank you, Dustin. And Happy New Year's.
Yeah, Happy New Year's to you as well.
Okay.
I can close.
By the time I get there. Yeah.
All right.
So, that's cool. See?
Good guys. Good guys. Like I said, I've known him for a few years. And because we're not live, I can talk to you, and this is okay. Perfect.
All right, it's all you.
Perfect. All right, everyone. Well, again, I want to say thank you for taking the time to join me here on the Oath podcast. And I want to remind you all that that the idea behind this podcast wasn't to favor any particular political party, and it certainly wasn't to shame the United States. Believe me, I have "We the People" written right here on my arm. I'm a strong believer in our Constitution, and I'm a strong believer in the men and women who serve this country. And I believe that we need to step up, and the government needs to honor their commitments, and they need to honor what they say that they're going to do. And I get a little emotional because I've known these guys for a few years, and I've been out to Tijuana, Mexico, and some of these other places. And let me tell you, it's emotional for me, because as a brother, I'm ashamed that we've done this. And whether they've committed offenses like DWI or they've dealt with mental health in their own way, we still need to serve them. We still need to help them. They are our brothers and our sisters. And they're not asking for special treatment. They're just asking to be heard, and they're asking to be able to live in this country. And I think that if we took the time to get to know these individuals, that we would see that. And so I encourage each and every one of you to really do some research on this, and just let's get the word out there. Let's encourage our legislators to do right. Let's encourage our veterans organizations and our veterans communities to step up and embrace these men and women and get them back to where they belong. So again, I'm really saddened by this. I don't even really know how to end the show because it's so sad. It truly is. But I really want to say thank you to Manuel and having the courage to step up and to say enough is enough and to fight this so vigorously. Manuel is not a young man anymore. This is a man that could easily be enjoying his retirement and living quietly, but he's here and he's fighting a fight that he should not have to be fighting. And so thank you, Manuel. And thank you to everyone who is in this position that are fighting, and know that you are not alone. And this brother right here hasn't forgotten you. And I'm going to do everything in my power to help get this more attention that it deserves. So with that being said, we've come to a conclusion today, and thank you all for being here with me. And as always, I want you all to know you are loved, you are cared for. I love each and every one of you. I'm here to support you in the best way that I know how to, and that's by doing what I'm doing and by sharing resources with you all. I want you to know that if you're feeling down, we're here. Pick up the phone, call me, email me. I'm a workaholic. I will answer the email. Trust me. But I want to encourage you all to reach out to your brothers and sisters. The national hotline for suicide prevention is going to be up on my website, www.oathpodcast.com. Give those guys a call and examine all the resources that are available to you. And know, again, you are loved. You are cared for. Be here tomorrow. Be here because you are loved. And folks, with that being said, thank you all for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you next week.